One thing a lot of people have been wondering is, are there going to be any mirror mode tracks this time around? As it seemed like since this is an open world game, maybe not, but there's something that I think is actually better happening to the tracks in this game. Yes, it looks like these tracks might actually be able to be played in reverse, which is something that I think only happened in Mario Kart Tour. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah, we might be able to play every single track in this game in the opposite direction because we actually have gameplay of it. There's a Mario Kart World commercial airing in Japan right now, and pay attention to this scene. Yep, Bowser Jr. is on Mario Bros. Circuit and is driving in reverse. Yeah, he's going up the loop towards the left, where originally, and you can see it here in this treehouse gameplay, you'll go up the loop and to the right. And you can even see with both of the maps that they are completely reversed. Now, this doesn't seem to be part of a dedicated tour. For instance, this doesn't seem to be where they are finishing a race. In fact, it looks like they're either starting a tour or just straight up racing one lap. Either way, it looks like we'll be able to race on every single track in reverse, which is a huge deal. A lot of people don't care about mirror mode because it doesn't change the fundamentals of the track for the most part. You probably won't even know it half the time what you're doing if you're not really familiar with that track. It just changes whether you're turning right at this area or left at this area, but sometimes going in reverse can completely change a course. A lot of this was seen in the booster pass with lots of those Mario Kart Tour tracks. Maybe the last lap had you going around a track in reverse, and you'll know it drastically changed how that track worked. Let's just use Paris Promenade for an example. Going in reverse in that final lap opens up a whole separate section of the track, and it even has you driving into oncoming traffic of racers going the opposite direction still. And you can see they had to add an included ramp to go back over the waterfall in the opposite direction after passing the Eiffel Tower. Or let's take Sydney Sprint for an example. For instance, you'll be going back around the entire track for that last lap, including going back over that bridge, but as you remember, those ramps are only accessible on the way back. When you're going forward, you can't hit any of them. They're only facing the opposite direction. And then you'll eventually fly into the orchestra instead of out of it. But you get my point, and pretty much every single tour city track works this same way. And for a city track, you might not be able to notice too much of a difference as most of it is just roadways, but in something like Mario Kart World where each track looks to be pretty dynamic, I think this is going to change the tracks drastically. And the more I go back and now look at some of these tracks, it actually is very clear to me. Look at Wario Stadium. If you look closely at every single ramp, you'll notice as they go over them that they also have an opposite side with ramps and arrows going up in that direction as well. This goes for every little bump, hill, and ramp that you see, they all have an opposite side. Even the gigantic ramp here looks like it'll be accessed from the other side as well as you go down a very similar in height sized ramp. Now that was an example of one that would easily work. What about Faraway Oasis, where it looks like you jump off of a giant pride rock type of area into a lower section? How in the world would you get back up there? Is there going to be a flight section to fly to the top of the rock? Bowser's Castle looks like it'd work pretty well. Besides the fact of you flying up a tube, you'll be flying down the thunderous tube down to the lower section. Maybe every section where you fly downward, this time you'll fly upward if you're doing it in reverse. Now that means as soon as you start the race, you'll be going up to this path that you're seeing right now from the castle in a reverse direction. And you can see where it looks like a giant ramp that leads down into the finish line. We'll probably be able to go up it and fly up to that section instead. But I will admit, some areas seem like they're just absolutely not made to work the same. Look at this section where you're flying off into Airship Fortress and you have to land into this broken tower. Clearly, there's no type of ramp that would launch you back the other way, unless they just added one, which could be the case, or maybe there's a separate direction that you would go in. Because it wouldn't make a whole lot of sense to fly back into a cannon, unless they placed a cannon on the tower this time around, and it just kind of changes the track entirely. For instance, maybe there's some tracks that work like Tour, and if you're playing the course in reverse, there's a hidden part of the track that you'll get to race on that you wouldn't have done if you were playing it in the forward version. For instance, Peach Beach seems to have a hidden path, as it shows like we'll be racing in the castle section up on the hill, but from the gameplay we've seen so far, we've always stayed near the beach like the original version, and we've even seen a map to show a different version of Peach Beach that we haven't seen so far. So maybe this is the reversed version. Toad's Factory would work fine. They would just have to find a way to get you back into the factory after you jump off that ramp, but if you look real closely, it seems like the ramp is on a higher path, like maybe there's a lower path that you'll take to get into the factory going in reverse. And actually, if you look really closely, it seems like there's a green green pipe down there. Now that could just be for the free roam, but I highly doubt it wouldn't be used in some capacity in reverse. Maybe it's not, maybe they'll just give us a ramp on the other side and shoot us up into the factory section here, but that pipe is mysterious. Once again, what's happening here is I think they're going to end up adding more ramps in order to get us up into the higher sections, but let's take Question Block Ruins for another example, which looks like exactly what I've been thinking. If you look at this section, there's a weird sidewall that looks like we'll definitely need a feather in order to reach it, and it looks like it's wrapped around all the way to the other side. But something else that looks even more ominous is this weird triangle ramp thing on the corner of this path. Maybe all the racers will need to use it in order to jump back into the opposite direction when going in reverse in order to hit a secret track path that is only accessible in reverse. But maybe you're still not convinced. You're still wondering if there's going to be reverse tracks for every track. This is the track that fully convinced me and gave me my aha moment. This is a P-Switch mission that Nintendo posted on their Nintendo Today app, but if you'll notice, this is a whole separate section that's been developed specifically for this P-Switch mission? I don't think so. At first, I thought that was very strange for them to have this whole obstacle course put together for a 7-second mission. But if you look closely, this is definitely put together for a reverse section of this track. In reverse, it looks like we'll be taking a lower path this time. It looks like you can choose from riding on these side walls or just hitting the little cookie ramp in order to continue down the middle path. Now, maybe we're supposed to go up and actually fly through the goal ring in the actual race as well. Of course, there wouldn't be a goal ring. It'd just be where you're supposed to fly back onto the normal track. But I doubt this, because this wall jump technique looks like it's something that would be way too difficult for a normal average player to be able to do. And Nintendo themselves have stated that they wanted Mario Kart to still be accessible to all players with this game, and that the new trick system was for more, advanced players. You didn't have to use it if you don't want to. And that's why I'm fully convinced that this bottom section that you see right here is the rest of this path. You can see it also branches into two separate paths, one going to the left and one going to the right that you can't see behind this pink wall. But it also looks like you can take that middle piece if you're good at wall jumping. As you can see, there is a track that goes down into the rest of the track ahead, and you can see the 3 tracks all merge together. That left lane, that right lane, and the middle lane all merge back into this side road. Or maybe that right lane actually doesn't do that. Instead, that'll be blocked off and you have to take the left lane. As you can see, it looks like they'll also block off the section going back into the long path leading to the rest of the world. You'll have to take this long grate all the way back around to the beginning. And you can see it even better in this scene right here, where you can see those 3 different paths. The one in the middle that you'll fly in from between the 2 original tracks, and you'll also see these 2 outside ones going through these donuts. So yes, I am fully convinced that every single track in this game is going to have a reverse mode that makes the track seem a lot different. At least for a lot of these tracks. Some probably won't change that much, like Moo Moo Meadows, and like you just saw with Mario Bros. Circuit in that Japanese commercial, it still looks fairly similar for the most part, but man, I love what I see so far. And if all 30 tracks are able to be done in reverse like this, oh man, that gives us like 60 tracks technically, plus every single track with the intermissions. We're gonna have over like 120, 130 different tracks. It's gonna be pretty good. And it would make so much sense if that's the big thing that Nintendo's been hiding for so long, is the fact that there's a lot more tracks than even we thought, where every single base track has lots of hidden paths and extra paths to make the track even feel more dynamic. But let me know in the comments down below what you think about this. Are you excited for reverse tracks, or did you really want mirror mode to return? I don't know why, but let me know in the comments down below. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe before you head out. And like always, I hope you all have a blessed day, and I'll see you all on the next one. See ya, guys.